Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. So I actually woke up this morning and I made almost $400 with my online eBay reselling business. Okay, so here is the deal. How did I make $400 last night while I was sleeping with my reselling business? Well, it's rather simple, but let me explain. I actually sold 26 items while I was sleeping last night between 8 p.m. yesterday evening and it's about 9 o'clock in the morning today. So in about that roughly 12-hour stretch, I sold 26 items through the night and I woke up to almost $400 in sales. Okay, I get it. I already know what you're thinking. I had to put a ton of work in already to get things listed up on sites like eBay and Poshmark to get things for sale. And well, obviously they just sold through the night. I didn't actually make $400 through the night, and you would be partially correct. Yes, obviously I had to put a ton of work in to build up my inventory so I could generate sales through the night, but I actually want to use this as an example of building a very strong reselling business just like I have, well, ultimately getting paid by your effort instead of your time. That is right. I am a big fan of getting paid for my effort instead of my time, and I will explain that and unpack that later in this video. And I think I have a very, very important message to convey to you, but nonetheless, I am going to get shipping because I have to get all these orders out today. Here's everything I have to grab out of these inventory bins and some loose stuff back there. But I figured you would be curious as to what I all sold through the night, so I actually have everything right here. I'm going to give you every single item, what I sold it for. It's a really good kind of general list of things I sell on a day-to-day basis. And keep in mind, this was all through the night hours of the day. And pretty much all these sales were domestic, so it's really interesting to understand that some of this stuff sells between 2, 3, 4 in the morning. It's just really interesting, but a lot of sales between $5 to $30. That's kind of a pretty generic price range for my business, but nonetheless, here's everything that sold. Real quick, before I show you everything that sold through the night, I just want to introduce myself super quick. My name is Jacob. I own a full-time online reselling business. I sell primarily used clothing on sites like eBay, Poshmark, Meacari. It's a six-figure and growing business. I've been using this YouTube channel to document the growth of my business and trying to help you out along the way with my successes and my failures and just kind of daily vlogs like this. Nonetheless, if you find this content valuable, can we make a gentleman's agreement that you like the video, you subscribe, and I'll keep putting out videos like this to help all of you out there, whether you are in the reselling industry or you are a aspiring entrepreneur like I am trying to build something big and special one day. This is the channel for you. Watch a young man's entrepreneurial journey grow alongside with his business. That's the deal. That's my spiel. Welcome to the channel. Here is everything that's sold through the night. All right, first item that sold was this weatherproof vintage wash button-down shirt. I got $5 for it. Up is this New Belgium Brewery graphic t-shirt. I got $7 for this one. Next up, we have a LL Bean waterproof jacket. I got $20 for this one. Next up, we have a vintage JCPenney's canvas jacket. I got $25 for this jacket. Sold this Swan school graphic t-shirt for $4. It was a sale nonetheless. I sold this vintage CBS jacket, really cool vintage jacket. I got $22 for it. After that, I sold this Nike Ohio State dry fit shirt and I got $15 for that one. I sold this Adidas cargo jogging pants. I got $14 for these. And then I sold this pair of a Wrangler stretch fit heavy denim jeans. I got $5 for those. I still made $1 or $2 on them actually. I sold this Puritan long sleeve shirt for $6. Then I sold this vintage Slazenger polo shirt for $18. And then I sold this vintage wool flannel lined canvas jacket for $35. After that, I sold this vintage Gore-tex camo hat for $25. Then I actually sold this vintage heavyweight polo shirt for $6, so a lot of vintage items there. Actually sold this vintage track jacket for $7, and then a Gap soft wash long sleeve shirt for $15. And then a really cool, it's from a brand called Taylor Vintage. It's a reversible flannel shirt. I got 25 bucks for that one. And then a pair of Columbia duck canvas pants for $18. And then a cool brand shirt for $18. And then a vintage Calvin Klein polo shirt for $6. I still made a couple bucks on that guy. Sold this body glove stadium parka jacket for $25. And then I actually sold this vintage denim button-down shirt for $4. I still made a buck on it, and well, dollars add up. And then I sold this pair of retro swim trunks for $5. And then a pair of Buggle Boy swim trunks for $5 as well. So a couple pairs of swim trunks went, which is interesting considering it is winter. Then I sold this Jeep hat for $6. And then lastly, I actually sold this Buggle Boy button-down shirt for $18. There you go. That is everything that sold through the night hours last night. Super interesting. It's just really, it's kind of cool to see that stuff actually sells through the night. And again, this is a very average morning of shipping for my business. I wake up to orders every single day, and it's really it's just kind of fun to see how much sells and what sells and all that stuff. So I thought it'd be interesting to share every single thing that sold last night for you. But nonetheless, I'm going to grab all that stuff and do my first round of shipping for the day. So I'm going to throw on a little time lapse of me grabbing everything so you can kind of see my process and probably critique it if you want. But then after that, I'm going to explain why it's crucial to get paid for your effort instead of your time. But let's get all these items first, and then we'll talk about it. All right, so here is everything I need to get shipped out. It's a pretty good mound of items. Like I said, it's 26 different items. If you've never seen my inventory process, I like to shrink wrap items and make them really tight and concise, and I can fit a lot of items in each of these tubs. But with that said, before I start getting this stuff actually packed up and dropped off at the post office, I actually want to talk to you about, you know, this time versus effort equation and why I prefer to get paid for my effort rather than my time. Let me break this all down for you because I think this is a super valuable lesson for all resellers and entrepreneurs out there, regardless of what industry you're in. Okay, so here is the deal. You know, I've already touched on it in this video. I woke up this morning and I had almost $400 in sales for my business, selling stuff just like this. It sold throughout the night, and I think that's really powerful because I am currently being paid for my effort and not my time. See, what happened last night was super special because all this effort I put into sourcing and listing and gaining assets and inventory crystallized into money last night. Last night, these items crystallized into money, thus paying me for my effort. We are all finite with time. We have 24 hours in a day, you know, and sometimes we wish we could have more. Sometimes we wish the days would go by way faster than they do, but nonetheless, we all have the same amount of time. So when you get paid for your time, think a salary job, think a hourly wage job, you have a ceiling to how much money you can make because you have a finite amount of time. I would much rather get paid for my efforts rather than my time because I know I can make my efforts much more valuable than any hourly wage or salary out there. I just truly believe that. I believe the effort that I put into my business is going to pay me more than somebody else can pay me per hour of my work in the long run. So I'll leave you with this. You know, when I was growing up, I always used to think of like lawyers and doctors. You know, think of those big New York City attorneys that charge, you know, $600, $700, $800 an hour for their work. That used to always baffle me. You know, how can somebody be worth that much per hour of their time? Or, you know, a surgeon making several $100,000 a year. That was like the dream to me when I was growing up. And maybe it's because I was raised in a kind of old school manner. My parents were very, you know, old school. You got to find a good job that has a good wage, and you know, that's just how I was raised. I thought that was the gold standard. And don't get me wrong, that is an amazing position to be in. If you can, if your time is worth several $100s an hour, that is absolutely unbelievable. Learn that the people I truly look up to and the business owners I really look up to in this world and I want to aspire to be are the ones that get paid for their efforts and not their time. They don't get paid per hour of work that they put in. They get paid for their efforts, and their efforts compound their business value over time. And that's where you really see a lot of big and generational wealth created. You know, the people who are worth 10, 15, 20, $30 million is because, well, their effort is worth a lot more than their time. So that's the motto I'm going to follow. That's kind of the game plan that I am set on as well. You know, I like to look at I don't even calculate the hours of time I work anymore. I used to do that. I used to get really geeky and, you know, break that down and stuff. Oh, I'm making $70 an hour today, $100 an hour. I don't do that anymore. I work 24/7. Business is always moving. When people ask me, oh, well, like, what's your work schedule like? Well, it's kind of an all-day deal. You know, I kind of work as I go, and then throughout the day, I just end up pretty much working all day because I'm constantly doing something related to my business. You know, that's just the reality of it. Business is not a constraint of my time. It's a constraint of my effort. All right, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you got something valuable out of it as well. If you did, obviously hit that like button, subscribe. If you like these kind of fast-paced vlog style videos, I love making them, so I'll keep on doing more. I'm gonna go get all that stuff packed up and dropped off at the post office, and I have a bunch of fun content planned for this week. We'll go thrifting, I got a bunch of fun stuff. It should be a really good week of videos, but in the meantime, be good to one another, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.